No Florida tax. I mean, we can't afford an income tax. And the reason a lot of people moved there is because there was no income tax. This is why my grandparents moved down here. This is why my parents moved down here, because there was no income tax, and their dollar would stretch a little further. But right now, with our economic distress that we're in, we're taxed. We're having a hard time, especially being a teacher, and we're trying to stretch the dollar as much as we can. I understand where everybody's coming from. My parents live upstate. They're on a fixed income. We can't afford to have this silliness of, oh, well, let's just create an income tax. Other states have it. Well, other states don't have what we have either. And we have a lot of good quality people that live here that came from other places that have just melted together to form this really, and the only thing I can call it is just an interesting community. Because I've been to other places. When I went to flight engineer school out in Oklahoma, when I come back, I always just like, this is just the craziest place we've ever been to. But I'm still here, just because it's crazy. I mean, you just thrive on all the things that, all the different little pockets of business everywhere. My wife is Colombian. My in-laws are from Colombia. All the different kind of foods and everything that we have at her house, and sometimes they're just bizarre. But yeah, I still eat them. I still call her my favorite mother-in-law as I'm eating the soup with the things I can't identify. She's my favorite mother. She has this. Okay, I'm not going to say that. But no, and income, no income tax. That's if you want it on the record there.
Can I suggest, can we do like 2 at a time also? 7 and 8 are all these questions, by the way, whoever put these questions together, good job. These are the kind of questions we want, not the softballs that they throw us in a lot of these meetings. So. 7 and 8, actually. I'm master.
2 minutes for 3 minutes.
Let's do both 2 minutes.
Would you mind if I do both?
And let's do it this way. Why don't you tell me where you stand on the class size amendment, and then if you want to, if you're for or against, reinstituting the cost of living differential for the
classroom size amendment. For the past 2 years, with the budget problem that we had, I had voted in favor of keeping it in place. This year, when it came up with the budget shortfall, I voted to put the classroom size amendment back to the voter. I think that the voter has to understand this is it. We're at crunch time, and you need to decide whether or not you want to pay this or not. So I did vote. My vote is very clear. It's public record that I do want the voter to have a say whether they want to implement the class size. The next one, 8. Plan on reinstating the cost of living? Absolutely. Let me tell you what happened there. That's politics at its worst. What happened with cost of living is we had a senator that got picked, Senator King, which may rest in peace, and he had the power of being a Senate president. And what he did is he concocted this University of Florida study, and you know how it is. You can make traffic studies look however you want. You can do whatever you want to twist the report and data, and he did. And somehow, in his old alumni of the university, not against Gators, folks, but they came up with a report that teachers in other counties should be paid more than our teachers here in Miami-Dade County. It's nonsense. Try living in South Florida. Bottom line is this was changed because of politics, because who was going to say no to that powerful Senate president? Which is why you need people that are willing to stand up to leadership, if that's what it takes when this kind of nonsense goes on. But that's how it was changed. I'm also rather upset because we had leadership in this community that really could have had a jab at turning it around. That's another story. Does it need to be turned back to the way it should be? Absolutely. The DCD needs to be changed back because there are actually there's 3 counties right now that are the most expensive counties. And maybe you can jump on this. Dade County, Broward County, actually Monroe County, and I'm hearing that even Palm Beach is getting to the point where you can't survive as a teacher, and that's where the differential needs to be turned back. We need to quit playing politics like it was done, and we need to bring it back. So I hope that becomes one of the priorities. It will be one of mine. When we're talking about education, that is something that I always mention at any of the UTD meetings or any meeting that I go to. It's this DCD, it must be turned back. Sorry for being so long.
Go ahead. I like the passion.
Where do I stand on the class size amendment? Well, it was a great idea, and it's still a great idea. It really is. The class size amendment has been proven that students learn better in smaller class sizes. It's proven. I mean, this is a fact. Everybody knows it. You ever been in a classroom of when I was teaching science in Hialeah before I came down to South Miami? My small class was 36. That was my small class, and this was quite a few years ago, before the class size amendment. And then as that was implemented, the class sizes got smaller, and you were actually able to interact more on a personal basis with students and parents. That's the important part right there, is that you're able to interact with parents. Mom and dad want to know what their kid is doing. And if you have 36 kids, oh, John Smith, well, let me see. John Smith sits over here in that row up there. I think he's this one. No. Smaller sizes, you know exactly who the kid is. John Smith, oh, I know. Good kid, does this, does that, but he does tend to talk a little too much. My nephew's in the school where I work, and my sister-in-law says, well, how's he doing? Well, let me go ask the teacher. And I'll go ask the teacher, and she knows exactly who I'm talking about because of the smaller class sizes. You really need class sizes in order to get the one-on-one time that you can't with the larger class size. But we also understand that we do have a financial problem. And then if we want to put this on hold, instead of implementing everything, all the far steps, if we kind of want to put this on hold, I think most teachers understand it's like, okay, we'll work with you. We know further down the line it's going to get better. But right now, with all this problem, we'll kind of hold at these numbers until the economic problem, well, I wouldn't say go away, but gets a little better. We have a little more income, a little more flexibility. And then we'll be able to implement those smaller class sizes further down the road. It's common sense. And I think that's what Tallahassee, or the planet Tallahassee, is really lacking, common sense. Do you plan on reinstating the cost of living differential? Absolutely. And it was, yeah, Monroe actually has so much taxes and well, you know how small the amount of land to collect taxes on is very small, so each little parcel of land is taxed at very high rates. Anyway, but yes, the cost of living differential, my degree in ed leadership, when I took all these classes and everything, we took courses on school budget and finance from Tallahassee, and it would break down, and you would have all these different little lists of factors that you could factor in depending on the size of the county. And some things we wouldn't get that the smaller counties would. Because we had the ability to have bigger departments and bigger facilities, we understood, it's like, okay, well, we won't get that part because this other smaller school district needs that money to provide those things that we can easily provide for ourselves. So yes, we need to reinstate this.
What I'd like for you guys to do now, I'm sorry, what I'd like for you gentlemen to do now is just to give us a brief 30-second wrap-up summary, synopsis of what it is you think we need and what we want us to hear for you.
Can I do something though? You got some good questions. Would you mind if I touch on two more of these good questions?
Well, the problem is I also have a lot of other people that need to come up here.
This is part of my agenda, so I'm going to try to incorporate it into my 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
You have a great question.